Welcome students and families to Austin Middle School for the 2021 school year. I'm Matthew Neighbors, the campus principal, and we are so excited that you're going to be joining us on this four-year adventure. Now, for some parents, middle school may not have been the most memorable part of their lives, but we are committed here to making this an exciting adventure for you and your family. So, buckle up and get ready to be introduced to Austin Stead Magnet School.
Austin Middle School has been part of the fabric of the East End of Galveston Island for more than 80 years. We are thrilled that you are now going to be a part of the lottery process to possibly attend Austin Middle School for the 21 school year.
Austin's core values, developed by students and staff last year, are to be united, respectful, responsible, and ready to learn. These are printed on the back of every student's ID, and we'll describe them a little bit more here briefly. To be united means we are one campus, one student body. We want to try to promote kindness in everything that we do. We also host the Life Skills program for the entire district, and these students get a wonderful chance to interact with our other campus members. So, all of that together makes us united. Respect is the first level of common decency that we try to train students to use when treating one another. It begins with things like dress code. Galveston ISD has a standardized dress code for all middle schools. We will talk a little bit more about it in the next slide, but it also includes clear and mesh backpacks and clear water bottles, which our Stuka will be selling. Students must also wear IDs. They get one free plastic ID every year that they are at Austin. They can buy a new one for $5. And if they just forget for a day, a temporary can be purchased for $1. We also have Austin lanyards, which were designed by students that can be bought as part of the new student package. The PTO offers these on their websites, or they'll be available at orientation in August. While we can only give you a brief overview during this presentation, you can find this and much more under the Parents and Students tab on the Austin Middle School website. To be responsible for one another goes a step beyond respect. We are a PBIS campus, which means that we have a lot of positive incentives for behavior and attendance. Our attendance goal for individuals and as a campus is 97%. This is only 5 absences or less per year for each student. We ask that families strategically schedule vacations during the Thanksgiving week, the 2-week holiday at Christmas, and spring break. Also, you may be interested to know that if a student attends school but then leaves for a doctor's visit, or attend a doctor's visit and then comes to school, as long as we get a note from a healthcare professional, that absence is completely excused. Parent notes also give you an excused absence, but the state still considers that missing school. To not be tardy, you need to be at school before 8:15 in the mornings, and once you have 5 or more tardies in a 9-week period, then there are lunch detention and other consequences. 5th graders will also be purchasing homework planners from orientation in August. These also come from the PTO.
Austin Middle School uses some of the same formats to communicate with parents that other schools in GISD use. As you are starting to decide whether or not to apply to Austin Middle School, you should check out our Facebook page. See if the activities that you see students involved in are things that you would be excited to do as a middle school student and family.
Does your student want to sing, act, be a musician? Maybe they want to be an artist, an engineer, a robotics competitor. If they want to excel academically, create unique projects, or do scientific research, then Austin is a place where they can achieve. Although we only have 7 periods in the day, 5th graders actually get to take 8 courses. They will take math, reading and writing, social studies, which will be an overview of U.S. history, science, a technology class, and then fine arts or band. Choosing between fine arts and band is the one course selection that 5th graders have to make.
Austin is a STEM magnet school, and so we have a special focus on math and science. Notice that we progress all students from grade 5 to Algebra 1 in the 4 years that they are at Austin. That is 5 years of math curriculum in 4 years of schooling. Also notice that students will have the option of taking either grade 8 or biology their 8th grade year. It is a requirement that students do summer work to maintain their skills in math and science, and also to especially help with science progression. So know that that is going to be an expectation and requirement if you choose to attend Austin Middle School. Our teachers and staff love every student who chooses Austin Middle School for your middle school experience. But we want to make sure that you are aware of our requirements as a campus. There will be summer projects every summer. There will be summer orientation for 3 days as an incoming 5th grader and for 1 day each summer after that. And then there are sometimes special supplies that are needed because this is a STEM campus. We want to help support you and your family in your choice of middle school for this year, and we want you to know that we are excited that you have a chance to attend our school via the lottery. However, just know that this is a campus that is a STEM magnet school, and we have a special focus on math and science. So you should enjoy math and science or enjoy the rigor of being pushed in those subject areas if you're going to attend Austin. You will also have a required technology class each year, so that needs to be something that you are prepared for as one of your electives. Just briefly, our orientation dates for incoming 5th graders will be August 3rd through the 5th, 2021. Those are half-day sessions, and we do serve food.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, the A+ period is an enrichment class. The first 9 weeks, students will be exposed to a growth mindset curriculum. It will be engaging and project-based. Afterwards, students will get to choose from a catalog of courses that's offered by teachers. These are passionate things that teachers are excited to share with students. It gives them a chance to have some choice and to learn from some local partnerships, such as medical students at UTMB or parents who teach a cooking class. These will be very non-traditional experiences, and they have been super popular with our students this year.
Choosing a new middle school and transitioning to a new campus can be a stressful time for students and families. Please feel free to reach out to either myself, Matthew Neighbors, the principal at Austin Middle School, or to Jessica Maxwell, our counselor. And even though we may not be able to take you into classrooms, we might be able to find a time when you could tour our campus either before or after school. We are so excited that you are going to be a part of Galveston ISD. Good luck with your application, and let us know if we can be of assistance in any way. Have a fantastic day.
For 7th grade and for 8th grade Black. Of course, we would like to invite you to follow us on social media. We have several videos and information there. And we want you to meet our administrators. Dr. Lewis is our principal. She already introduced herself. Ms. Sanders will be our assistant principal for 5th and 6th grade, and Mr. Lofton for 7th and 8th grade. Then some familiar faces that you will be seeing in our building. If you would like to apply for our school, you can see on the screen our main office, counselor, nurse. We are here to serve you and to help you. We are targeting to do our very best to support our students and provide those skills that they need to compete in this highly fast changing world. Dr. Lewis, would you like to add anything else for our parents?
The only thing that I want parents to know is that things are moving at unprecedented rates. Things are changing, the way that your children are learning and changing and how they're learning to be adaptive. And so we are committed at Central to ensure that your child is prepared for life outside of the 4 walls of the building, be it when they leave Central or when they leave Ball High School or wherever they go. But if you have questions, please put them in the chat, or our website is constantly updated. Our information is current, so you can reach out to us that way. And also, if there is a need to get this presentation in Spanish, Ms. San Roman will be available. If you need this presentation in Spanish, please put it in the chat and we will connect with you personally so that you can get this information in your native language. That's it. Any questions, please let us know. Ms. San Roman, outstanding job. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so, end the screen share, Miss San Ramon, and then I'm going to introduce our next. I know that Mr. Cornelius Phelps is on the Zoom. He is the principal at Collegiate Academy at Weiss. Mr. Phelps.
Good evening, everybody. We have a presentation that we'd like to share that gives you an overview of Collegiate Academy. Please grant screen sharing rights to Miss Janita Washington. She is one of our assistant principals. The
How are
primary,
you listed, Miss Washington, or does it say Janita Washington, or does it say something a little different?
it says Janita Washington. She's there.
All right,
Her camera is on.
I'm here.
Oh, I got you. Here you go. Okay. Are you already a co-host, or do I need to make you
I
one?
think I am.
Oh, you already are one. You should be able to have it already. It already.
In short, and our mission and our vision and our core values are part of this presentation. But the magnet component of our school is to give students an opportunity to accumulate enough high school credits to be sophomores in high school when they enter Ball High, and to cross the stage upon graduation with their high school diploma as well as an associate's degree. And those 2 years of college credit come at no charge to the families. So that's the mission, to make our students college ready and to also make college a feasible and affordable option. Roll 'em.
It did not select the right screen. Let's try it again.
Cause we shouted all of this before. Steadier than steel, cause we're ready with a shield inside. Back on the saddle, cause we've gathered all the strength for more. And we won't bow, we won't break. No, we're not afraid to do whatever it takes. We'll never bow, we'll never break. Cause we are warriors, we'll fight for our lives like soldiers. All through the night, and we won't give
So there's the nutshell of Collegiate Academy in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Our other middle school of choice is Crenshaw. That's a environmental science magnet campus. It's on Bolivar Peninsula. The principal of Crenshaw is Tracy Camp. I don't believe she was able to make it tonight for this Zoom, but we do have Miss Christina Stark. She'll be able to give us a little bit of information about Crenshaw.
Can you see my screen? Just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Just thank you. I am the Christina Stark. I'm the magnet coordinator here at Crenshaw, and we are the best kept secret in Galveston ISD. We are on the peninsula. We serve students pre-K through 3, pre-K 3 to 8th grade. So that allows us to be with your children for a very long time. But we are an environmentally focused school, as Mr. Rudolph said. We do curriculum, studies outside in our garden. We have the perfect landscape area. We have a boardwalk, wetland area, walking field trips to the beach that we do. Students can earn up to 5 high school credits, including art, biology, algebra, Spanish, and I can't remember which one I didn't say, but there's another one. We do have a fine arts program and some distinctions. Because we offer the pre-K through 8th, a lot of the kids really get to know each other, and it's just a big family community atmosphere here. We have a garden and an orchard that the kids get to work in throughout the day, as well as through our after-school program. And then the wetlands and boardwalk. We also work with Adopt a Beach and Keep Bolivar Beautiful and Artist Boat. Here's some pictures and things of some field studies. We have athletics, including boys and girls basketball, volleyball, tennis, and track and field. We do a positive approach to discipline, and it's positive attitudes change everything, that we pace it up around here. And we recognize those students throughout the year. We have them up. We let the parents know whenever anything's going great with those. We have frequent individualized goal setting and recognition. We do offer the after school enrichment classes. They change over time, but for right now we have some cooking classes going on, some dance classes. The garden is part of it. We have daily intervention periods with the students who need extra help, small group pullouts. And one of the biggest pluses about being over here at Crenshaw is that we have very small class sizes. So we thank you for considering coming to Crenshaw. We do offer STEM as well. And we're working on getting our new STEM lab open, which will be a STEM Lego lab. So it's one of the unique features of Crenshaw as well. And let me give you back. And if you have any questions, again, you can contact Ms. Camp or myself. We'll be doing tours after school, after the school day hours. And Mr. Rudolph will give the information on how to apply.
Thank you, Ms. Stark. Okay, you've heard from the 4 schools. I know you guys are eager to ask them some questions. I'm seeing some already pop up in the chat, and we'll get to those here in just a second. Very quickly, I'd like to show you guys to the Galveston ISD website. I know each school possibly has a link to schools of choice, but on the main website, I want to just, once you get to the schools of choice page, I want to show you guys the steps you take to apply whenever you guys know which school of choice you want. And you will be able to choose your first school and then your second school and third, if in case the one that you choose does fill up its seats and you don't get that, it will knock you down to your second choice and so on. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay, you guys should be seeing this is the homepage for Galveston ISD, and the very first thing you see is a giant button that says, click here to apply for the school year for schools of choice. So that is what you click if you're going the route through the gisd.org homepage, and you'll get to the schools of choice page, which it does have a lot of selections over here. You can learn a little bit about it, your application information, course selection. I know some of you guys are having questions about which courses are existing at which campuses. Yeah, it has a process guide, but I'm not going to get into all these right now. I just want to show you guys, once you get here, it's right at the top, click here to apply. So we're trying to make it as few clicks as possible, just get to where you need to go. Then it's separated, of course, into the 3 levels in which you might be applying to. High schoolers are here. You guys are middle schoolers. This is the middle school night. So you have apply here. That is all you need to do before you get to the application page. Now it will take you to a page in which you do have to register for an account, because it goes into a system that if it happens to be a lottery at the school, it needs to be able to randomize and choose you guys for a lottery. This year, all schools will be the same way for admission. There's a certain amount of seats available at each school. If there's more people that apply than are seats available, there will be a lottery, and it will be a random lottery. It won't be based on any academics or discipline or anything else that we may have done in the past. There are a few priority levels. For instance, if you have a sibling going to that school, or if you have a parent that works at that school, those kids do have a little bit of a priority above some others to be able to get in there just because of convenience for their family. And so it's not so much of a burden. So there are a few priority levels, but after that, everybody is going to be chosen at random to fill up the seats, and we'll let you know if you got your first choice or if you got your second choice. But after you fill out this application, you'll be able to make your choices, and that is it for the application. And then from there, after we tell you which school that you'll be attending, there will be an enrollment process down the road. Well, it'll be a registration process for returning students, actually. So there will be one more step, but that's not what we're talking about tonight. Tonight we're talking about the schools of choice application process. So I'm going to look at the chat and see if we have some questions here. I know that there was some that came in before. So I know there's one here. Chelsea looks like she answered, are we considering grade scores, preference in lottery? That is not going to be considered in any way for admittance to these schools, whichever school that you choose. Christina, you answered one. That's very good. Okay, Heather, you said if we already applied this week, does that mean our account is created as needed? Yes, it doesn't matter. The open window started on February 1. I think it goes to March 1. Regardless if you applied on February 1 or February 28th, it's not first come, first serve on this. So whenever you apply, you're all in the same hat, so to speak, and then it will randomize and let you know through the lottery process. Perhaps one of the principals would be better at this one. Mr. Sutherland asked, will honors courses curriculum be available at all schools? Is that the case?
We have high school credit offerings at Collegiate Academy. We have biology, algebra, Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, English 1, high school, earth, space, science.
And we have a high school art class as well.
Students get high school credit for band participation as well.
Ms. Stark or Mr. Neighbors?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I just want to know if honors courses and curriculum is available at your school.
We have the algebra, but it's not honors. It's just the algebra high school credit course and the algebra, fine arts, algebra, fine arts, biology, Spanish, and I can't remember the other one.
Okay, well,
top of my head.
Those who are interested in Crenshaw, please make sure you call Ms. Stark or Ms. Camp over there, and they can get everything answered for you. Mr. Neighbors, can you talk a little bit about the honors offerings over at Austin?
Yeah, so this year has been unique. We've always offered some high school credit courses to
7th, and 8th grades. So very similar to what collegiate offers. We offer biology, we offer algebra, we have some Project Lead the Way classes, Spanish. This year, because a lot of the curriculum has gone online, we've actually been able to offer some additional courses through a program called Edgenuity. So we have some students taking some very unique, we've got some computer science courses going on and some other things. We're going to evaluate the students' experiences with those courses to determine whether or not we continue to offer those in the future.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Leslie Clift, I know you have a little bit of a two-part question. If you're online, do you mind asking that out loud? It was about your classes being separated at grade levels.
Yes, I was wondering if each school, how they separate the grade levels, if they do.
I'll speak for collegiate. We do separate our kids. We have 5th grade and 6th grade on the front hallway. When you go toward the back hallway is where 7th and 8th grade are. And there's a middle hallway where there's just a few of our bilingual classes, which is 5th and 6th graders as well, the bilingual program. So that's basically how our campus is separated. So you got 5th and 6th front hallway, bilingual middle hallway, 7th and 8th on the back hallway.
For Central, Central has 3 floors. The first floor is for 5th graders and 6th graders, but we have them in different hallways. Then the second floor is only for 7th graders, and the third floor is for 8th graders. So that's the way how we keep them separated. And of course, during transitions, when they change and switch classes, we have all the teachers out in the doors and monitors around, just checking and monitoring the kids and helping them.
Okay, Mr. Neighbors, I think.
I can speak to Crenshaw.
Okay,
I mean, sorry. They're not separated in hallways because we just have one middle school hallway. Like I said, we have small classes. So our smallest class is about 13 right now, and our largest is 22, I think. So they're just in one hallway.
Yeah, and Austin Middle School is just opposite of Central. So our 5th graders start out on the 3rd floor, 6th and 7th on the middle floor, and our 8th graders occupy the 1st floor. So very similar. We stratify it by floor level, and that's how we keep them mostly separated, except of course all students have to use the gym for their PE classes. So there are some times when they come down the stairs, but not often.
Okay, thanks. And I know I see some other questions you had, Leslie. I know one of them you wanted to know if there was ever going to be a ferry bus stop on Galveston side to bring folks over to Crenshaw. That's been talked about. It has. It's not going to exist next year, I don't think, but it is something that's been talked about. Because yes, it would be convenient for parents to be able to drop their kids off at a bus stop here in Galveston and pick them up in Galveston and not have to make that drive. So that does not exist as of right now.
Yes, I think, thank you for that, answering that. And what I understand is that High Island High School sends a bus to the ferry.
Maybe, do you know anything else, Ms. Stark, or did I give her accurate information so far?
They do send a bus as far as I know. It will go all the way to the ferry for High Island.
Okay, I'm going down the questions to see if there's anything else. We've got one from Ms. Fajardo. She wanted to know if she's got a child with ADHD, 504. Is there a specific school that caters to that more than the other? Maybe the principals might know this better.
That should be every school, should be 504 and ADHD equipped.
Okay, so wherever, if you don't land in your first choice, your second choice will still be able to accommodate you for sure.
Absolutely.
And then gifted and talented. The question is, does gifted and talented exist at all of the schools? So I want to nod my head yes, but I just want to make sure. That's why the principals are here, so I don't say anything I don't know, but I believe that is the case, correct?
That is the case.
At Collegiate, we serve our gifted and talented students by putting them in our accelerated programs. So our gifted and talented students are tracked to be in biology and algebra and English 1, and encouraged to also enroll in Spanish 1 and 2.
Okay, and it is offered, and there is gifted and talented at every campus. I've got a question for Central. I guess Ms. San Ramos or Dr. Lewis wants to answer. Somebody wanted to know what language selections are offered there.
Yes, sir. I did put that in the chat. Unfortunately,
Okay.
we don't offer that as of yet. We are working on for the next school year. So I did respond in the chat, but if anybody wants more information about that, they're welcome to reach out to us.
Okay, I see your response now. Sorry about that. I think I've got to the bottom. There might be some questions that came in earlier that I missed. So let me know if you have another question right now. I know I wanted to get everybody out of here by 7 o'clock, and I think we'll do that. But please, if you do have questions, this is the time to ask while you've got the administrator folks in the room with you, so to speak. I've got a question. Will the lottery be public for accountability? From what I understand, we have not ever hosted a public lottery. We do it, it's a third party that does it, so we don't do it here with Galveston ISD folks. We actually have a company called School Mint, and they have a secure way that they run a lottery, and that's how we do it. It's not like we gather people around in a room, or we even do it on Zoom or anything and announce it immediately, but we do run the lottery and then post that information the next day is how it's done here. Is there any other questions? I'm looking around the room. Not many folks have their video on, which is fine, but please, if you have something, just shoot it in the chat. I might have missed one earlier, so if I did miss yours earlier, just post it again real quick. I know folks were asking some questions while we were going through some presentations and we couldn't get to them at the time.
Well,
go ahead.
There's a question in the chat about how were each of the schools recently rated, and how are the low scoring schools being addressed?
I could speak to that from just an overall level, and then each of you guys could kind of tackle your own schools. As you know, last year, we didn't have a rating last year, so no schools are rated right now. No schools anywhere are because of COVID preparations, COVID precautions we took last year. You guys could speak, I guess the last rating we got was the 2018-2019 school year, which probably isn't as accurate. I know we've made a lot of improvements. I would think we improved at each one of our schools. So it's unfortunate that we weren't able to post our ratings, but we'll start with Austin. And if you could just kind of tell what your TEA rating was in 2018, I guess is what they were wanting to know. But I want to tell you, and I hope you guys understand that, I don't want you to read too much into that, because it's been almost 2 years now since we've been rated, and you can get on to TEA and see those, but we'll let the principals speak for it and what they've done since the last ratings come out to improve academics.
Yeah, so we've done fairly well for schools that are our size and for our demographics. Again, we haven't had a TEA rating since 2018-19. At that time, we were an A campus, but we have been trying to measure ourselves statewide through a program called Children at Risk. So they take a school's demographics, and we are about 57% low SES on our campus. And so compared to other campuses that are 50% or more low SES, we're ranked in the top 20 in the state. So we appreciate some outside organizations helping us with ratings, because again, we haven't had anything from the state in 2 years now. So you're right, that's unfortunate, because I do feel like our schools have been improving, and we've got some exciting programs and leadership going on, and I wish we had more recent data.
Are we going in a particular order?
Yeah, I'll call out. That's my fault. Dr. Lewis, go ahead.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I was listening and I was like, did he call my name?
Yeah, my fault.
So absolutely, and I concur with what everyone has said. 2018 was the last. Central started out in 2017-18, and we went to a B campus. with 5 distinctions, and then we went to a C campus with 6 distinctions. It'll take me a minute to express how that works, but the algorithm is a little weird. You can have 6 or 7 distinctions and still be a C campus, but it's a weird algorithm. But we've had incredible success, and much like what Austin just said, Mr. Neighbors, is we have internal safeguards and ways that we are able to evaluate the success of what we're doing on campus. For example, we have comprehensive exams that are written by our coaches, but we also hire outside consultants to help us, making sure that we're pitching the correct level of rigor for our students so that we can see where they're performing. Now, we do use research, and that research helps us to see where the learning loss is. And right now, overall, the learning loss is anywhere between 6 and 7 months. And so we take that information, sorry, I am at home, sorry, y'all. We take that information and we're able to fill in the gaps as to needing more literacy, needing more math, and meeting our students where they are. Some students are higher performing, some students are not, be it a 504, be it our special needs students. We meet them with wherever they are. So we have prescribed plans for our students to ensure that they are successful. So it's not a blanket, figure it out, and everybody fit into a mold. It's very much figuring it out, and we've had great success, and we still are, because we have those internal measures that help us to gauge where we are. So, you know, as of right now, we took our last comprehensive, and literacy, we're looking at about maybe 3 months behind, but we've caught up significantly. And so if anybody would like to see that data, I'm open to it. Just let me know in the chat. It's not a secret. We'd love to share it with you.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Mr. Phelps.
Collegiate's a school identified as a campus in need of growth, and we've hired a growth team. We have a new administration on the campus, including me. And the big thing that we're working on is culture and disaggregation of data to grow our kids. Right now, we're focused on providing STAR preparation in every core class directly, and courses that are not assigned to be administered the STAR test directly are also participating in offering students an opportunity to grow on our purchased and subscribed platforms. Our big ticket item this year is ExactPath, and it is a diagnostic and remediation tool that we're using to track the growth of our students, to push them to perform better, not only on STAR, but on all of the antecedent, all the antecedent formative assessments that lead up to STAR. We are guiding this process with data, and all teachers are tracking their students' performance using data and disaggregating that data in our collaborative learning communities so that we can focus on specific needs. Our kids are involved in our effort to grow, and we encourage parents to visit with their kids and encourage their kids to take these assessments seriously so that we can move our school to a higher ground.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Ms. Stark over at Crenshaw.
We were rated a B campus at the last rating as well. I want to say 5 distinctions. I may have that incorrect, but I believe it was 5 distinctions. We excel the students where they need to be excelled. We have, like I said, the interventions and the smaller classes help with those students. I can say that we had 0 student failures the first semester with any of our students here on campus.
Okay, thanks a lot. I had a question. Now they all started coming in while you guys were answering. Now I got a bunch. Is there a way to find out? Okay, I like this one. Is there a way to find out how many open slots there are for specific grade levels at each school? I think you guys might know how many slots or seats there are open. Mr. Neighbors, Is that something that's available, or do they just ask you guys? Can they call and ask, or how do they know how many slots are available at each school?
Yeah, sure. So some of that has to do with staffing, and some of that is a little bit flexible with the district. So we haven't had those staffing discussions yet with 39th Street, as we refer to our support center here at the different campuses. We have a new superintendent in the district now, so some of those conversations will need to be had. But in general, I know, for example, Austin was full before COVID, but we've got a ton of kids who are learning online. And so we're not certain how many of those kids will return face-to-face in the fall. And that's really an X factor for us. We think we're full, but maybe we're not, depending on how many of those families return. Some families may have found that online learning really suits them and is good for their students and may continue with that. And so in that case, we would maybe have more open spots than we think we have. So next year is going to be very interesting to see how many of our students return. But in general, Austin is prepared to accept about 125 to 150 students each year. So we're looking at that. That's been our pattern for the past couple of years. We've accepted around 150 per year.
Do you guys know over there, Dr. Lewis? I mean, I know you guys probably have a little bit more capacity at your school. Does that mean the 5th grade class is a little bigger?
Generally, it really just depends. It has fluctuated up and down over the course of the last 3 years. This will be 4th year. So it's fluctuated. However, Central is, previously a high school. And so we are fortunate enough to have a little more space. That doesn't mean that the rooms are bigger. Unfortunately, you would think the rooms are larger. So we have to be mindful of that. Some of our 5th grade babies are still kind of small, but for the most part, there's plenty of space in the hallways for students to move around. Our science labs are beautiful. They're huge, traditional style science labs. And so we make it work, and it's not just, tight and moving around. It's comfortable, and it's very exciting, bright place.
Okay, Mr. Phelps, do you know your capacity exactly, or is it a little bit of a moving target too?
800 is a highball answer to the question. We're most comfortable at around 700.
Okay, so maybe 5th graders coming in, you may have 225 5th graders at the high end. At the
very high end.
Okay.
At the most comfortable.
Well, I guess lower than that. Yeah, you want it probably a little under 200. If I'm, I need to take
100
math classes.
120 to 150 5th graders.
Okay, and I know Ms. Stark over there, Crenshaw, is a much smaller atmosphere. So what size grade levels are each? And you guys have, your 4th graders will be going into your 5th grade from that school, right? So you probably are pretty limited on seats, I would think, from folks that want to do it as a choice.
We have, well, I think Mr. Neighbor said it kind of depends on staffing and how many, the classes aren't full and they fluctuate. So some classes range. We do have a larger 4th grade class this year than other years. So that kind of depends too. So,
okay.
But there is still room for growth.
All right, going back to some questions, I can see one from Shauna Brown wanting to know if there's any testing involved to get into the school, and that is not going to be the case. These are schools of choice, and so you'll be able to choose whatever you want. Of course, there is a capacity limit, so that's the only thing that would prevent you from being in the campus that you want, so it would then go to your second choice. I think that Chelsea helped you answer your bus transportation question in the chat. Okay. This one from Leslie, does any school experience having more applications than available spaces? If so, what percentage numbers? Well, we don't know yet. We're anticipating that might be the case. And we don't, in years past, it's been a little bit different because we've had different admittance into Austin Middle School than we're doing this year. So this is the first year we've had this many campuses that are straight schools of choice in the lottery system. So I can't answer that. And we've only had it open for 4 days, so I could look to see how many have come in, but honestly, they haven't come in enough for us to fill up. If you're right now, there are not more that have applied than our seats as of now, but we've got another 25 days for before the application window. I've got a question about, it looks like Miss Melber. Austin's been high achieving, they have summer activities, things like that. And then now we're going to lottery, so are there going to be more robust GT high achieving programs at other schools now that the program has changed? Will there be more GT? She's asking if they're going to spread out some GT teachers, thinking that you know, more of the GT folks might have been at one school, and now they'll be dispersed a little more. Do we have any knowledge about that? I don't know if that's I don't know if we can anticipate something like that and just make a guess before it happens. Does anybody have any insight?
The number of GT teachers assigned to a campus is proportional to the population of gifted and talented students.
And some of that's established, you know, maybe after application process. So we might have to, you know, figure out how many we've got over there. There might be some teacher adjustments to make sure we can accommodate, but rest assured, we've always been able to accommodate our GT students no matter what school they've been at with adequate amount of teachers. And if we do need to make some adjustments to make sure we've got enough at each campus, you can be assured we'll do that. I think we answered that the capacity of each school is currently, I think we got that answered. Do all campuses cluster high performers, or are they random assigned to a class? I think I can answer this, but I might leave it to you guys. So if you've identified kids that are a little more high performing than others or taking some advanced classes, do we have some ways to, they say cluster, but put them together with their like-minded peers to be able to study at an advanced level? Can you guys speak to that a little bit, how that works on your campus? How about, okay, go ahead, Phelps, or start.
Students tracked for the algebra, biology, English 1 program begin with more rigorous instruction starting in 5th grade. It's still the 5th grade curriculum, but we have advanced students in math, science, language arts, and they stay in that track. When they get to 7th grade, it goes from enriched instruction to accelerated instruction. 7th grade students on the accelerated track, they take 8th grade science in 7th grade, they take 8th grade math in 7th grade. And that prepares them to be in biology in 8th grade as well as in algebra.
Okay, and I think Mr. Neighbors kind of answered that for Austin over there. I know, I think that Ms. Washington also had some in there. So I think the general answer is yes. They might do it just slightly differently at each campus, but of course they're going to find pathways. If you've got a student that excels, they're going to be with other students that are, we want them to be able to, you know, achieve as much as they can. Do school sports, here's a good one. The school sports start in 7th grade at all schools. I think that's the case. If anybody knows anything different, I think that once they're in 7th grade, I think the girls can do volleyball and basketball, boys can do football and basketball. I believe there's some track and cross country opportunities as well. Is that the case at all the schools, or maybe you guys want to go over what you have real quick?
It's a UIL mandate that athletics be reserved for 7th and 8th grade. In the UIL handbook, 6th graders and 5th graders are still considered elementary school.
Okay.
I know the only other sport that I know that you can start earlier is soccer. And I don't think, I know we don't offer it this year. I know Central offered it before. I don't know if they're offering it now.
Okay.
Right, and I was going to say also, just throw this in there, Mr. Rudolph, is, you know, for 5th and 6th grade, which is why you see quite a bit of clubs, engineering, drones, dancing dolls, karate. Those are the kinds of things, because we need our students to become acclimated to those particulars, how to manage their time, how to balance. And so we do provide those things for 5th and 6th grade to get them ready. We also have a cheerleading and a pep squad, right? So the girls can do pep squad when they're younger as they're in training.
Perfect. And yes, I know Mr. Neighbors in the chat as well. So yes, also fine arts begins in grade 7, where you definitely get to select the fine arts pathway that you want to go with. Someone wanted to, Dr. Lewis, wanted to know if you could speak a little more to at Central about your clustering. I guess they were talking about how you're making sure your high performers are.
Absolutely. Yes. So it is based on data. We do look at the students' data. And we have conversations with teachers. So for example, this past year, we're looking at the comprehensive data from our exams on campus as well as STAR. And we're looking at how the student performed. The teachers get to come in and have conversations on course load, can they handle it, those kinds of things. And that's how those decisions are made. They are specific to data. And then those students they travel in a cluster as far as your biology students, your algebra students, your Project Lead the Way students. Those students do travel in a cluster, yes.
Okay. We've got 5 minutes left. If anybody's got some more questions, we might be able to get out of here close to on time. Oh, Miss Clift is, oh, she's got a question about newspaper articles talking about disparity of numbers of white and black students at Austin versus the other schools. I don't think there's much. She wants to know if we can speculate on this. I'll just say that we're not asking folks' race whenever they apply to schools at any part of any application process we've ever had. So whatever the application process has been at any school, we're going to accept those students that qualify through the rules of the process. And by no means is race brought up as far as any kind of admittance at any point. So there is no speculation on why I would think that any numbers at one school will be different than another, other than the process that they go through to get in. Somebody had a question about, yes, somebody had a question about, go ahead, Leslie.
I just want to say thank you very much for answering that question, taking the time for that.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks. Oh, here's what time does the schools start? Are you talking about, Kevin, are you talking about what time of day, or you just want to know the hours of the schools? Are you on with us, Kevin? Or I know that we start at 8:15.
And for Central, well, our students start arriving at 7:45 for breakfast. Then at 8:05 they are moving for their classes, so they can start at 8:10.
Is that what time do doors open when they can drop kids off if they wanted to drop them? I know this year's a little different. We didn't open them as early because we didn't want them to gather in the cafeteria for COVID reasons and things. But normally, what would be the earliest drop-off time?
Central opens at 7:45 still.
Yeah, and
7:45.
Okay, well that's the case then, Kevin. And then this year, end time was 3:55. Now we did extend it 10 minutes intentionally. Usually it's 3:45. We'll probably go back to that next year. As a matter of fact, I already know we are because I helped put together the academic calendar. So it'll be 3:45 next year. We put that 10 minutes on this year to acquire some extra minutes in case we had to do some closures due to emergency closures and COVID reasons.
Here at Crenshaw, we start at 7:45 and go to 3:15.
Thank you. Crenshaw
So
does have a little bit different hours than the others. So they're a little, if you like getting your kids a little early and getting them home, then maybe you consider Crenshaw. Of course, you got to drive out there if you're on the island. So different things to consider. Hey, you guys, it is 6:58. I think we got a lot of questions answered. If you guys have a particular interest in any school, please feel free to call that school directly. There will be somebody there that can answer those questions. And if you need to call us here at the Sports Center, go ahead, Ms. San Ramon.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to finish by telling to our parents, you know, each school has their uniqueness. Please feel free to call us, contact us. Please go to social media, the website, check everything that is happening, because in each campus, amazing things are happening. Our students are learning, are doing different projects. They are doing, oh my God, amazing things. So please go take a look at it in the website, social media again, and, you know, apply early. You have until March 31st, I believe, yes. No, March 1st, I'm so sorry. February 1st to March 1st to apply. So the sooner the better. So feel free to contact us. We are here to serve you. We're here for your children. We are doing our very best in each school. Each school is doing their very best. So please, whatever is the result that you get, know that we are here for your kids and we're doing the best that we can to serve them and you.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you to all the great questions tonight. I know some of you guys were very inquisitive, and I didn't mind them coming in. So you guys have a good night, and please reach out anytime if you have anything further. Good evening.